Welcome to Voice Bootcamp, a global name in unified communication. Hello, my name is Faisal Khan, CEO and founder of voicebootcamp.com. Well, in this particular self-study kit of UCCE Advanced Scripting, I'm going to show you how to develop an advanced menu-driven application. Now, this is the call flow, which will flow very similar to the UCCX script. When a call arrives, you'll be hearing a welcome prompt. And after the welcome prompt, what we're going to do is we're going to verify to see if the office is currently set to manually open, manually close, or automatic determination. So if it is manually set to close, then we want to send the calls to a close greeting. But if it is set to open, for example, then we want to send the calls to the main menu. However, if neither of them are set manually, that means you want the system to automatically determine if it is closed or not, then we want to set a value called automatic. After that, we want to check if today is a holiday. Now keep in mind, if it is manually open, it doesn't matter if it is holiday or not, because the intention was to keep it open, right? So, but if it is set to automatically, then it doesn't matter if it's holidays or not. So we want to verify if today is a holiday. And that will be checked against a database, which will have a list of dates that are defined as a holiday. If today's date match one of those dates, then we're going to consider as a holiday. Therefore, we're going to play the close greeting. But if today's date does not match any record, then we will continue to check if today is Monday to Friday. If it is Monday to Friday, then call will continue. If not, then call will go to close greeting. But if call continues, then the time of day is checked. In time of day, we're going to verify if it's opening hour versus closed hour. If it's closed hour, go to close greeting. But if it's opening hour, go to main menu. When the call comes into main menu, you are given four or five options. So press 1 for sales, 2 for support, 3 contact support, 4 partner support, 0 to reach the operator. Now I'm just going to show you 2 of them, 1 and 2. And if you press 1, the call will go to pre-sales, for example. In pre-sales, if you press 1, you'll be again given another menu option, 1 to 4 plus 9 as a menu. And if you press 1, the call is supposed to go to unified communication. At this stage, what we're going to do, we're going to route the call to a bunch of agents, to a skills group called Las Vegas. And then whoever is logged into Las Vegas should receive that call. But if you do happen to press tech support and press 1, we want to send the calls to an extension 4103, for example. So irrespective of whether the call goes to a skills group or an agent, doesn't matter. What is important here is this part, is the validation of the check. So first step, we want to check the current state. So we have a local variable that we created called user current state. And we're going to run an admin script. In this admin script, we're using the switch command to make 3 different decisions. First decision is that if it is going to be closed, we're going to set the current value, user current state is equal to 0. So 0 means close, and 1 will represent open, and 2 will represent automatic, meaning check it based on other criteria. So if it is, so obviously the switch node allows you to make one node active at any given time. So as an administrator, whenever I need to come in and make this switch, I will open this script and then make either this one active or this one active or this link active. So right now, automatic is set to active. So we want to be able to do that by manually intervening the administrative script. Now, of course, this script continues to run every 1 minute. If it is open, we're going to set the value to 1, but if it is set to automatic, we're going to set the value to 2. Now, at this stage, at any given time, the user current state variable contains a value either 0, 1, or 2. Now, this is the database table for holiday, and a very simple table with a str date, str description, the date, and then you got the new year. So what is important here to understand is the format of the date. You got the month, you got the day, and you got the year. So you got to make sure that you supply that current date in the same format as what is stored in the database. So next step, what we're going to do is run another admin script to check the holiday. So we're going to do a DB lookup on the database. And in the DB lookup, if you're not familiar with how to use DB lookup, please take a look at the first few labs in our study kits. It will show you how to develop DB lookup scripts. In the DB lookup holiday date, we're saying, okay, look for the date in this database called holiday date, which is the database I just showed you. But find a record that match this value. So what this value is right here, it says concatenate. I want month from the current date function. I want to get the month per month from the current date. So it will be 12. Then we're going to put this little separator. Then day from the current date, which is 8, followed by another separator. Oops. And then year from the current date, which will be 2017. Very simple, basically exactly the same format as it is saved on my database, in my database. So so it's going to take that current date in this format right here, and it's going to look up in the database to find a match. If a match is occur, that means what? That today is a holiday because the date match. So therefore, successful terminal will be invoked, where the call will go to this variable, where we set user open, another userly defined variable called user open equals set to 0. Then, if it is not holiday, no match is found, then we're going to do is check the time of day. In the time of day, we're going to say Saturday, Sunday. User open is 0, meaning close. Any other day, check the time. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. set the user open equal 1. So the variable user open will be set to 1 if the call comes in between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Any other time, the call should go to set the value to 0, which is to indicate the office is closed. Now this is administrative script, which will continue to run every 1 minute. Then we start our own routing script with the variables that we need to set for our CVP. This is the IP address of your media server. This is the language folder. This is a subfolder where my audio prompts are located. This is the DTMF as a D stands for DTMF input rather than text to speech. Then we're going to say send to VRU. That means establish a connection to the CVP. If the send to VRU is successful, we're going to play the welcome prompt. Now after the welcome prompt, we're going to, which will run external script, play the welcome prompt. And if it's successful, it will go to check if the current state is set to 2, automatic. If it is set to 0, that means close. If it's set to 1, that means it's open. Now, if it is set to 2, that means automatic, then the call will jump directly to this particular if statement. And that is where we're doing we're trying to determine whether if the user option open is set to 1 or 0. But if it is not set to 2, which is automatic, that means the other two possible value is 1 for open, 0 for close. Then we're going to do another if then else statement. We're saying, okay, user current state equal 1. That means if it is equal 1, that means it's open. So then call goes to main menu. But if it is not set to 1, the other possible value will be 0, because it will never be 2, because 2 will be captured by the previous if statement. So if it is set to 0, then the call goes to close greeting. Now if the call does come to automatic, which will check the holiday and everything, and it will set the value user option equal 1, and if it is 1, then the call goes to main menu, otherwise call goes to open close greeting. So the call will finally come into main menu right there, and the main menu, which will look something similar to that. So configuration parameter 1-4 means menu 1, menu 2, menu 3, menu 4s are available, and menu 0. So if you press 1, 2, 3, 4 or 0, then we want to capture that input based on what number that you enter, menu number, using CED. CED is called color enter digit. So using the color enter digit, what we're doing, we're saying, okay, if in case they press 1 pre-sales, the call will go to pre-sales node, which will basically run another external script that will play the prompt for pre-sales. If you press 2, the call will go to run external script, which is to run the technical support prompt. Now, as the call goes to pre-sales node right there, again, it's going to say press 1 for unified communication, 2 for router switches, blah, blah. And then again, you're going to collect using CED the input from the user. So every time you need to collect input from the user, you must use CED to transfer the value to. So we're saying here, okay, in case of press 1, you're going to play this message, which will say, welcome to unified communication pre-sales, press 1 for this and that. So in our case, press 1 to reach the unified communication. So if you do press 1, so using CED, we're going to say, if you, in the case of 1, the call, go to the select statement, select the agent from this particular skills group, which is Las Vegas, skills group Las Vegas, no agent available. The call will then go to queue the call, play the agent busy greeting, saying that all of our agents are busy, please stay on the line. Your call will be answered momentarily. But if after user busy is played, then you're going to hold the music for play the whole music, and then it will, if you successfully play the whole music, the system will wait for X number of seconds, which could be 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and then repeat the whole agent busy messages over and over until, of course, someone answers the call. So that's basically how this script is developed. So now I'm going to walk you through how to develop this script. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is start with the admin the current status, right? Rather, script office current state. So this is the admin script that we have. So first you start with the start node. Then you will use a switch command. So you can right click and bring the switch. And what the switch command is going to do is going to connect to 3 different segments. You got the left hand side, set variables if it is open. Right hand side, it will be closed, and then active. Now, obviously, the whole purpose of the current state is manually intervene. Keep that in mind. The administrator actually have to manually come into this and make this guy active. So let's say there's an emergency and you need to keep the call center open. So what do? You come in, you say, okay, I'm going to go to property, going to make the open as an active. Okay, so now every time comes in, it goes to set the variable user current state equal 1. So user current state equal 1 is a variable that we have created in UCCE, and we set this value to 1. So at any given time, these only one of these will be active. So if it is open, it will set the value to 1. If it is closed, it will set the value to 0. And if it is automatic, it will set the value to 2. Then we automatically end all the script. Now followed by holiday. So let's check the holiday scripts. Okay, it's already locked, so let me unlock it. Okay, so we unlock that. Ooh. Where else is open? There you go. Okay, so start the first thing we want to do is do a DB lookup. So we use a DB lookup node, and the question is DB lookup against what? So first of all, we already set up the holiday date database. If you're not sure how to do that, please take a look at one of our previous lab at the beginning of this series to see how we use DB lookup to connect to database. But what is important here is to look up the database and find a date that matched today's date. And we're going to use this concatenation options to format. So the way we do this, we say concatenate, get the month from the current date, then add the forward slash as a separator, get the day from the current date, add the separator, get the year from the current date. So it will look like something like December 8, 2017. So then we're going to check this value into the database, which is right here. So I have to date. So if this is true, if a match is found, we're going to set the user open variable to 0. 0 means office is closed. User open is another variable that we have created, going to be 0. If no match occurs, then we're going to check for the day of the week. Pretty straightforward steps. A for Monday to Friday, B, or you can call this weekdays. Oops. And you can call this weekends. Okay, so if it is a weekend, Saturday, Sunday is closed. Otherwise, check the time. And in time, if it is office hours, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. versus any other time, which is anything outside that range. So if it is other, is closed. But if it is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., we're going to set the variable user open equal 1. So these two admin script will continue to run in the background. I'm not going to save it. Sure, what the heck, nothing much. So these two holiday scripts, as you can see, they're running every day, daily, and every 1 minute. So it's checking for things in every 1 minute. All right, so now we're going to look at how do we create the main routing script. So I'm going to start a new script for you guys. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is set some variables. Oops. Set variables. I need 4 of them. Okay, so line them up. Try to be as neat as possible. Connect this variable. The first variable I'm going to set is call variable media server. HTTP 142.64.52. That's the IP address of your media or web server where the prompt files are located. We're going to connect that to the next step, which will define the language. en-us. Then set variables, which will be media live app. That's the folder. Connect, and now we're connecting to the DTMF type. So these are very common stuff. We're pretty much gonna do it in every single lab. Now that we have set the necessary variables and everything, our next step is to use send to VRU. This will now connect the call to CVP. Now, if it is successful, first of all, if it fails, we're going to use fail connections right here. But if it is successful, we're going to use run external script. So what the run external script going to do is play the welcome prompt, which is welcome. All right, so what happened if it fails? Well, we're going to disconnect. But if it's successful, now we are going to do a check. If it is, what is the status of the current status of the office? So if it's successful, we want to go to properties, formula. Let's check for global current state. And we're going to say if the current state is equal to 2, automatic. Okay, so let's work on the false section first. Okay, if it is, I'm going to copy and paste. If it is not set to, let's say if it is not set to automatic, then it must be the 0 or it must be the open or on. Sorry, close. So I'm going to say, okay, if it is not set to 2, then which is negative, go to if, check if it is 1, which is mean open. So the other alternative value is going to be what? 0, right? So because 1 is defined, 2 is defined, the other option is 0. So we know that if it is not 1, then it's negative 0. That means we're going to play out close greeting. So close greeting, I'm going to open another run external script right here. Let's say play close greeting. If it is unsuccessful, and if it is successful, also end. Go to properties, and we're going to say close. So in the first play, and then of course our ultimately playing the close, we're going to end the call. And if it fails to play, that means we're also going to end the call. All right, so now next step is what happens if this is 1. So now we're going to go to the main menu. But we still have to check this option. So we got 2 successful node to close. So let's run another if then else statement. So here we're going to say if current still is automatic, meaning 2, if this is true, come here. And here we're going to say global, is it open? If the open is equal to 1, meaning that is it automatically open, otherwise it's closed, right? If it's closed, well, guess what? Play the close greeting. So let's bring this here. Yeah, that makes more sense. If it is open, we're going to play it. Now we're going to play main menu. So we're going to say run external script, main menu. So remember, if it is open, connect to the main menu. If it's manually open, connect it to the main menu. Okay. So we're done with the first we're in the menu section right now. So now we're going to scroll down this section. I will use end in case the menu doesn't work. So end the call. And if it is successful menu, collect the menu option from the user. So we're going to use caller enter digit. And in the caller enter digit, we're going to say if it is 1, do this. If it is 2, do something else. So for that, I'm going to run 2 more run external. Okay. So not that. 1 and 2. So I'm going to go to properties. I'm going to say case 1, case 2, 2. Now I can also say, yeah, probably I don't think I can define a name. So case 1, user press 1, case 2, user press 2. So if it is 1, we're going to play. And if it is unable to collect, end the script. But if it is 1, we're going to play the main, what do you call it, pre-sales menu. If it is 2, we're going to play technical support menu. All right, so let's work on the technical support one. Is because it's a shorter one. In the technical support, we're going to collect more menu options. So again, we're going to run another external. Sorry, not a CED. We're going to collect information. We're going to say CED. We're going to have to close these two. Okay, close these two. Okay, so if it's CED, in the case of 1, we're going to return a label. So let's call it label. Case 1, press 1. And it's going to return a label of extension of a technical engineer. Let's say this one. Okay. Alrighty. So now we can bring it here. Whichever looks much better. Yeah, this one looks much more neater. Okay. So I'm done with the technical support. Now let's work on the pre-sales. In the pre-sales, I'm going to say, okay, if you collect the digit from the user, color enter digit. So if it is fail, actually, you know what? Let's have another one. I'm sure we're going to need a bunch of them anyway. Okay. If the user press 1, we're going to connect that, select an agent. So we're going to select. If it fails, it's already connected. So case 1, press 1. Now, if once you select an agent, it's going to select an agent from a skills group. From Las Vegas. Oops. And if agent is not available, queue the call. Okay, now what happened if the queue is successful? We're going to run, play agent busy. And then I'll run another external. If it's agent busy, play whole music. We're going to wait. So connect the whole music to wait for 30 seconds. And then connect this back to agent busy. So it's going to loop itself. But it cannot, if it cannot complete the call for some reason, then it has to end. and we have to connect those dots as well. All right, so that's pretty much how we create this script. So let me validate this. Something is missing. Run external success connection is missing, so we must connect this right here. Script is valid. We're going to save the script. Let's call this UCCE scripts grant lab 13. Okay, so now that script is created, so we're going to map this to 4000. Okay, so we are done. Okay, so agent, so I need to log in as an agent. Open my phone. Okay, so I'm logged in as agent. Let me see if I can get the second phone. Okay, that is not what I want. Let me change 21. Okay, so this is my agent phone. As you can see, logged in as 3103. I'm going to go to ready mode. This is the user is going to call 410. Actually, I'm going to call from this phone 4102. So let's keep the let me see. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger screen, but well, we'll figure it out. So let's do monitor mode. See where the call passes through. So from this phone, dial 4000.
Thank you for calling Cisco Systems. You have reached us after normal business hours. Our normal hours are 6 a.m. to 6.
Okay, so it's telling us that you have reached us during normal business hours. So that means a call is going through, and give it a minute, one minute or so, you'll see the number changes right here. So came here, it came here, it checked to see if it's welcome from there. Okay, so it did find whether it is automatic, so it came here. From there it went to close because of this link right here. So what we're going to do is verify why it is currently closed. It's most likely because it's 7 a.m. there. See, 8 a.m. So that's probably why it's closed. Okay, so if I were to go back to the admin current state, what I want to do is force it to open. So go to properties, keep open, make it inactive, and save. When I go to monitor mode, as soon as I see this link goes 1, that means the value is set to 1. So I'll wait for a few seconds. Okay, so you can see it's now set to 1 from here to here. So now let's dial again. Redial.
Thank you for calling Cisco Systems. For pre-sales, please press 1. For technical support, please press 2. For contract support, please press 3.
I'm going to press 2.
For a network down emergency, please press 1.
Press 1. Okay, so as temp fail is probably the extension cannot be reached, but that's at least we can see the traffic is going. Let's see if the traffic is going to the right place or not. So here we should see it came not here, not this one. Is it this one? Yeah, see, it came here. It went up to here, but for some reason it was not able to route that. I believe I have to do this. I have to add the CVP. Yeah, that's why. Okay, let's save this. Go to monitor, try again. So redial.
Thank you for calling Cisco Systems. For pre-sales, please press 1. For technical support, please press 2.
I'm going to press 2.
For a network down emergency, please
press 1. See,
one.
call came in. Okay, so that part worked. So I'm going to redial.
Thank you for calling Cisco
Choose
Systems.
option 1.
For pre-sales, please press 1. For unified communications, please press 1.
It's going to press 1 again.
Please press.
See, now this is going to the agent. See? I can answer the call from here. Alright, so my script works as it was designed. If I want to check the closing part, I will go back to current state, edit this, and you know what? I'm tired, it's Christmas. Let's close the office. So I'm going to force the close to be closed. Save. Give it about a minute or so. You'll see that from here it goes to here and then end the script. Sometimes you have to refresh it to see value. Just have to wait 1 minute. 60 seconds sometimes can feel so long. Okay, so if I redial.
Thank you for calling Cisco Systems. You have reached us after normal business hours. Our normal hour.
Okay, so what's happening here is, based on this, we have set the force it to be closed. Then here, when it came to check if the current is still equal to 1, it went directly to close because it's not 1. So it was 0, so it came down to close. So the script is working the way it was designed, and it met pretty much all the requirement that the diagram. Of course, we did not put all the extensions and all the menu options, but you got the point. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video and you find it useful. If you want to learn more about scripting, you can take a look at our website at www.voicebootcamp.com. There are many videos are available, about 30 to 50 videos we are going to publish for this particular self-study kit. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the upcoming videos.